Hello, people. How's it going? Just trying to get adjusted here. Welcome to the first live stream of 2024. Can't believe we're already 6 days in. The whole holiday season just flown by. Absolutely just gone by. I got to go back to work in a few days. It's crazy. Just trying to get things. Hey guys, hey, awesome, Ashley, Greg, good to see you guys. Yeah, this whole year's just flown by like crazy. I can't believe it's January, and yeah. So how are you guys doing? I hope everything's been good this weekend. I've been busy getting Christmas taken down and trying to enjoy a little bit of the holidays I've had for this time of year and spend time with the kids and the wife and all that. But here we are, another Saturday. Lots of different things to talk about. Lots of cool stuff happening. But yeah, I hope everyone's having fun. I've been busy. Well, I was busy this week painting reavers. I got my happy little reavers done up. My lighting sucks, but there's one of my reavers. I got my reaver sergeant there pulling out his combat blade. All these guys turned out really well. I think these are some of the best models I painted in a while. And I'm very happy with them, but we'll talk about it later. And yeah, so I had some ideas I wanted to blab about today. I'm just going to see if I can find stuff. I'm trying to... Come on. There it is. So I just mess around my phone here. Get all my notes and info in one place. Yeah. No, it's been a crazy... I know about you guys, but it's been a pretty crazy Christmas. I'm glad I was able to take some time off and enjoy a few weeks off between the 22nd and the 8th is when I have to go back to work. Kids are back to school. So I was able to get some time off. That was nice. Seeing family I haven't seen in a while and getting to have some time with the kids, play with them, with all their new toys that they got from us and Santa and all that. I need to get a new headset, I think. This one just, I don't know. It's an old school one. I think I need to get a new one. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I get a new one? I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's on the list of things to do for this year. All right. So a bunch of different things I want to talk about today. One of the first ones is, what's 2024 going to bring to the channel? I'm still thinking about that. I mentioned some stuff at the in the last stream there, just before New Year's. I'm definitely going to be looking into improving, getting some of those streaming aids in there. Things like Streamlabs, or there's a couple other mentioned. I have to go over them again. But yeah, some cool stuff in there, and I want to do that so I can actually show stuff and be a little more interactive with you guys. I'm in the midst of the painting challenge right now, and I got these 5 reavers done up real quick, like stupid quick. I think 2 days, not full days, but 2 sessions. One on I think it was a Monday, and another one on Tuesday. I was able to, or no, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was able to get these guys done to a really nice standard. I'm really happy with them. And I haven't painted that quickly in a while. I haven't painted that quickly in a long while. I've gotten that much productivity done. The rest of the week's been a bit hectic, trying to get last minute stuff done, and kids are back and are getting back now into their extracurricular activities. Kids are back in dance and whatnot. So I still have to get the Reaver Lieutenant done. so he can lead these guys. I need another HQ for my Ultramarines. It's so many have gone the way of legends and all that. Obviously, we can still use all the old stuff, but I'm trying to sort of keep my army somewhat. God, hate where hair gets like that. Somewhat more current. So I only have right now a lieutenant. I got it. That's the other thing. Channel wise, I want to get more productivity done this year. I definitely want to get some games this year. I need to get some games in. It's another year where I haven't played a single game, which sucks because I really enjoy playing games. I'm so out of touch, not out of touch, but just out of practice right now. Got rust like you wouldn't believe. I definitely need to get that. I mean, there are some local groups I just haven't had time, but I definitely want to get my Ultramarines, what I believe to be up to snuff, which means I need to get some more Primaris done, need some HQs done. Once I have this Reaver Lieutenant done, and I want to do that for the painting challenge. And with work coming back on Monday, the month is going to get pretty busy. Kids are going to be, like I said, back, so it's going to be a juggling act. But once I get the Reaver Lieutenant done, and I have some Hell Blasters I definitely want to get done. I want to get my Ballistus Dread done because that's a fantastic looking model, and it's a nice long range weapon, which strangely I find myself more and more needing. With all the models I've gotten done up, I've got aggressors painted up, very close combat oriented unit with I got the Flamestorm gauntlets, so the Power Fist and the Flamestorm flamers there. I've got my Assault Intercessors, which are great for clearing objectives. With all those nice rerolls they get. I've got my Infernus Marines. I've got now the Reavers, again, very close combat oriented. So my army, I always did lots of shooting back in the day. It was sort of thing to do back in 3rd and 4th. And Ultramarines are good at it. I have my tactical squads, which I still have. Obviously, I've got 3 tactical squads, so I can in bigger games I can put those out and have lots of mid to that sort of mid to close range shooting, lots of bolters. But yeah, my army's become very much more close combat oriented now than it was in previous games. I can definitely, at some point, I do want to get heavy intercessors and squads of intercessors. But everything I've gotten done so far seems to be heading towards more close combat oriented stuff. I do have Hell Blasters, which would be nice to add some long range firepower. Still my Devastator squad. Again, I'm trying to also sort of future-proof the army. There will come a time, I have a feeling, whenever, in 3, 4, maybe 5 years from now, 5's pushing it, 4, it's only 4 years from now, probably hitting 11th edition, and I have a feeling that's when all of the classic Firstborn Marines will be gone. No more tactical squads, no more Devastator squads. I think Predators will disappear, Rhinos will disappear, Razorbacks will disappear, Whirlwinds will disappear. The only thing I'll be, I think, left over that is old school will be the Terminators, and they're just going to get new models. I think we'll see Assault Terminators before too long, and Land Raiders and Drop Pods will still be the holdovers from classic Marines. Everything else will go to Primaris. So it's one of the reasons. Actually, one of the other things I want to do is get my 2 Vindicators. I have 2 Vindicators out of Black Templar Army. I want to get them. I'm trying to debate how to paint them because I really love the paint jobs I did for when they were Black Templars, but I'll put on my Ultramarines army. So I have a feeling I'm going to have to paint up probably. I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking maybe just painting up the blast shield, the 2 side doors and the back door of these Vindicators in a blue so I don't mess up the paint job I already have too much, but it indicates that they are Ultramarines. Because my Black Templar army is pretty much done at this point. I got 2 Crusader squads, the old school ones. They will most likely not make it into whatever codex that the Black Templars get. They've already been replaced. I had an old chaplain. I took him out to one of my Ultramarines, but those chaplains are gone now. I guess I could still technically use them. I have a kit bashed Black, Emperor's Champion, but again, he's not the new one. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I know I sound kind of like, oh, it's got to be new, but I'm trying to future-proof my army a bit. And I have 2 Terminator squads. But again, it was a great army then. I haven't played it in even longer than my Ultramarines, so it's been a long time. So I have a feeling I'm just going to make those Vindicators into Ultramarines Vindicators. I still have most Leviathan bucks left to do, so lots to do over the next year. 2024 is going to be a lot of getting those things done and actually getting them done. I know 2023 it was one of those ones where it was a long time between projects, and I want to stop that. I want to put up more projects done in 2024 than 2023. That way I have more stuff to show you guys as well. Hellshot, how's it going, man? I saw it. I was just blabbing. Awesome in here. Thank you very much. If you had lots of models that are starting to paint from scratch, what would you start with? Ooh. That's a good question. I would probably start with infantry, my troops. If I had lots of models and I had to get, I would start with them because that's going to be the bulk your painting will be. Again, depending on the army, but no matter what army you paint, other than like, a knight army or something, you're going to have lots of troops. And by troops, I don't mean troop choices, but infantry or not. I would start with your basic model that you're going to be paying the most. Just get it out of the way, get it done, and then reward yourself with the characters and the bigger tanks or monsters or creatures or whatever, right? That's how I've kind of always done it. That's one of the, I always, if I was starting a brand new army, I would start with your basic battle line troops or what have you, and start with them, get them done first. Then move on to the more elite stuff, right? That's just me, though. That's how I always did it. I remember I had to paint up one of the first things I did when I worked at Games Workshop, I painted up 50 Moria goblins. That taught me patience, and that's I learned how to do. You learn how to do lots of steps over and over again, right? So to paint this color on 50 models, and paint this color on 50 models, and paint this color on 50 models. So I got it done. It was crazy, but I got it done. And it was sort of one of those things that needed to be done. And then I rewarded myself afterwards by painting up one of the characters from the Goblin, Moria Goblin characters, using metal model. And I took more time on him, but it was kind of like a reward for, wow, I got through 50 goblins, and then I'm going to paint this guy up. It's kind of been what I've been doing again with the models I'm painting now, because it's something weird. I've been looking at all the stuff that's come up for Space Marines, and we got the new stuff for Dark Angels. Got to see all those things, obviously, all the new Deathwing Knights and the Inner Circle characters and the new versions of some of the other characters, and always seeing the upgrade sprues and their stuff in there for Ravenwing. Obviously, with all the bikes being gone, Ravenwing, you're gonna have to start from scratch. I think a lot of armies, a lot of Marine players out there, if they want to play tournaments and on, they're starting from scratch, right? They're starting from like all your bikes are gone. I have a feeling even that means all the Ravenwing bikes will be gone. You still have a Ravenwing, but it's going to be made up of Outriders now, and there was stuff on there to turn your Outriders into Ravenwing bikes. So now they may keep the Ravenwing bikes around because they had certain special Ravenwing command squads, and they had those special. But I have a feeling a lot of people are going, well, I'm starting my Blood Angels from scratch. You saw the Blood Angels had assault squads left, right, and center. It was a big staple. Well, they're gone now. So those people with assault squads are going to be getting a lot of assault intercessor squads with jump packs. So that's a great question. Thanks, man. But yeah, to answer that, short form, lots and lots of infantry first. Get the bulk of it done first, because if you get the characters done, or you get the big machines done, or the big monsters, or the epic hero, right? That's really cool. But then you spend all the time, you look over and you still have all that other stuff to paint. So get the bulk of it done first and then reward yourself for those characters, right? Because characters usually you want to put more effort into, you want to put more detail, you want them to look snazzy, right? Pristine Bigfoot. A what? Okay. But you want them to look snazzy. You want them to stand out. They will be your centerpiece models, the ones that people go, oh, okay, cool, lots of Marines or lots of orcs, lots of whatever system you're playing. And then they go, oh man, there's your character. He looks cool. She looks cool. That orc boss looks cool, right? Again, when I played, it's one of those things that's been popping over the old world. Warhammer the Old World's back. It's we've seen the release of the pre-orders are up for the Bretonians and the Tomb Kings, right? People are going to be either breaking out a lot of their old models. I've been tempted to break out what Empire I've left to get it painted up, but it's kind of a pain in the butt because, again, there's a lot of painting, again, especially with Warhammer Fantasy. There's a lot of models. Age of Empires is good on PC. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, Age of Empires was a good game. But you had have lots and lots of miniatures that are basically the same. It's even more so than 40K, right? Because you have lots of models that are different. They're a bit more dynamic fantasy. You are getting a lot of the same troop again and again and again. And obviously, they've upsized the bases. They're going to be a bit more dynamic. You've ever seen some of the models look really cool, but you're painting a lot of the same models still. Now I think they've put out some, I don't know, I haven't been paying that much attention to it, but they put out some unit fillers, which is always cool. It's something you could do back in the day, and it's something that fills up a lot of space. You don't have to paint that many models, but it is pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But yeah, again, to answer the question, start with the bulk. Get it done. Get it out of the way, because when you're like 20 guys in on a unit of spearmen of some sort, or peasant bowmen, or skeletons, right? And you're like, okay, man, that's my troops done. That's my infantry. Let's get a cool character. And I always like painting that character. They're always cool because you always you wanted that. You wanted him to pop. You wanted that character, whether it was a sergeant or like a captain, a vampire lord, a chaos knight, whatever. You wanted them to pop because they were going to be the thing of people. Hey, mini Warmat. Hey, or Greek hoplites. Exactly, right? Paint up your hoplites first. Always painted models the best. Hey, you know what? That's a good point. That's the other thing. You want to try and paint your models to the best of your ability, right? And it can get a bit grating. Like I said, it can get a bit daunting. That's why I say take care of that bulk first, then move on to the cool stuff. Yes, Mini Warmat. How's it going, Mr. Putting out challenges that I have to do now because I can't not? It's all your fault. But yeah, as I say, I got these cool Reavers done. Very happy with them. Still have to do the Reaver. Where's my brush? It is the mud is watching. It's after 10 o'clock here, and my eyesight is not what it once was. And I find if I paint too late, I make mistakes and I get frustrated. And I don't want to be trying to paint again. Painting a Reaver Lieutenant, he's a character. I want him to stand up more now. The cool thing nowadays with Games Workshop models, or any models, the characters have a ton more detail. I say specifically Games Workshop because in the old days, your characters, even the big ones, didn't have a ton of detail. Obviously, the skill levels changed. The ability to make models has gone way up. But again, I definitely want to get that Reaver Lieutenant done, but I want him to look extra good, right? I want him to stand out. When you see a unit of Reavers on the table, I'm going to go, that Reavers looks really cool, but that Reaver Lieutenant looks awesome, right? He looks fantastic. So, But yeah, yeah, that's kind of what, to sum it all up. That's what 2024 is for me. I gotta get models done. I gotta get some games in. I really want to get some games in. I want to get my army future proofed. I don't want to. I've the removal of models. And again, I know I can. They're legends. I can play friendly games all I want with them. But it hurt. We lost a lot of stuff, and I kind of want. How much is each model, and for which size costs more? Well, that's a good question. Um, it depends. Like that. That's a hard question to ask. Or to answer, I should say. It depends on the system you're playing. It depends on what it's made of. Um, Usually, bigger things or more. Again, it depends. Like if we take Games Workshop, most units nowadays cost between 50. No, that's not true. Most of your basic units cost anywhere between, yeah, like 60 to 70, 80, 90 bucks, depending on the unit. Characters you should cost. I'm talking Canadian money here, by the way. Actually, no, I'll bring that up. Let's take a look. I want to give you a good example. It's a great question. Just bring this up on the phone so I don't actually have to close the screen here. Again, like I said before, I just want to get these streaming helpers done so I can share screens and I don't have to do this. So move to Warhammer 40,000. I'll pick something at random. Let's go Armies of Chaos. Chaos Space Marines. Right? So your basic unit of Chaos Space Marines costs you 85 bucks for 10 guys. And now there's a bunch of go green. Hey, thank you very much. You guys have a great night. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, so I said, your basic squad of 10 guys is $85. Now you're gonna have multiples of those. Then depending on how you want to build, right? If you're looking for an elite unit, there's a unit of Chosen, which are elite Chaos Space Marines. They're 75 bucks for 5. Most of your characters around $50, $55, right? Depending on, because you usually end up getting a lot less characters. You only need a handful of characters compared to the amount of units you need. But then you get into your big things, like you get into your big tanks or your big monsters. If you want to get something like, where to go? A Demon Prince. Demon Prince are these characters that they're huge, right? They're $100. You have Vastor the Archifane, which is a named sort of demon character. He's $120. Again, it depends on the size of the model. Usually, the bigger it is, the more expensive it is. However, at the same time, how much you need of it in an army also dictates the price, right? So you get 10 guys for 85 bucks, but you also get one character for 55 bucks. So hopefully I answered your question, right? And again, it depends on the system too. I don't know about some of the other ones, right? Yeah, thanks guys. Enjoy your night. Have fun. Thank you for dropping by. And it again, for Games Workshop, it doesn't vary much. So if I go back here and I go to, someone said go WA, so I'll go Xenos armies and I'll go Orcs, right? So again, you have like a unit of, let's see here, down we go. So you have something like your gun wagon. It's a big vehicle for the Orcs. It's 140 bucks. Meanwhile, a unit of boys is 70 bucks. And of course, then you have a character like a beast boss, which is a big orc that leads the more savage. He's 50 bucks. Do you still get paper magazines to the post with the models, or models ordered online? Well, most models nowadays are ordered online. You still get them in your stores. You go to your friendly local gaming store and order from there. Right. You can order most models online now, shipped directly to your house if you want. You can still get the magazines. The Games Workshop just finished up one of their magazines called Imperium, where you could get models with it, and they're starting up a new one. sometime soon. It's going to start in UK first, which will, as you get the magazines, you'll start getting models from a bunch of the new combat patrol boxes. So you'll get random models. I'm not sure how many will be in each magazine, but you can get that. You can either pick it up at stores or get it mailed to your house. I know it's starting in the UK first, much like the old other magazines did. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. But yeah, so again, depends on size, depends on how many you need in your army, depends on basically how elite the model is or how many you'll have, right? So like I said, with the you can get 10 guys for $85 or 5 guys for like $70 because you'll have less of these models in your army. These guys were a bit different because these guys are actually originally going to be Hounds of Mordecai. So the unit was, I think, was like $55, $60 on its own. But that's why I got 5 of them, and I used some of the Space Wolf heads because they're cool, but I decided I was going to paint them up. I bet if you kept them sealed for years in the box, it'd be worth a lot in the future. Yes and no. This is something that the price is dependent on, like a lot of things, like even like comic books and stuff like that. There's certain comics, yes, always. Certain movies, anything like certain games that are harder to find. It all depends on how rare your models are and who wants them. It's not as simple as like, oh, I've had them for a long time, they're worth a lot of money. The OOP or out of production models tend to be more sought after than, like, these guys are plastic, and Reavers, there's lots of them. So, and they're not, it's one of those to get to the rule of cool, but they're not a very liked unit right now for Space Marines. So even in like 20, 30 years, they're probably not going to be worth much. But if I had a cool model, I know some people have some of the old models that are like pewter or metal that are incredibly hard to find. And if you find the right person, yes, they can be worth a lot of money. But again, you have to find the right person. Like if I go something like let's see here, I had the phone a lot today. So I go to like things like Facebook Marketplace, which I do from time to time, and someone's selling something. The value is kind of up to them, and it's up to you to decide whether it's worth it or not. Right? I'm just trying to look here. Like someone's selling a War Machine Kriegsarmee for $1,500 Canadian. And there's a lot of stuff in there. They've got a ton of models in there, like a lot of models. So depending on, now he wants, and I'm looking at the picture and they look pretty damn cool. Like that's a really cool looking army. So again, the value that he's placed on is the amount of models. He says it professionally. He's done custom bases. They were painted by award-winning painter. So he's asking. So he's based his price on making custom bases. He's based his price on the painting, right? So we'll see. There's some models, yeah, that you've had them for a long time, and you can say, "Hey, look at this cool model I got." People go, "Oh man, that's awesome," right? Again, it depends on if people want it or not. So again, it's one of those things, right? Not so much on just having it for a long time, but what you have and if someone wants it. It's like a lot of things. All right, the other thing I want to talk about, painting challenges. Since we got Mini War Mutt here, painting challenges. I love a good painting challenge. I think painting challenges are awesome. I want to say it. I was thinking about the painting challenge. The last Mini War Mutt painting challenge I did, I got my 5 Infernus Marines done. And it was great because it gave me sort of like a time limit, some pressure. Let's get this done, right? And sometimes you got to do it to give yourself a kick in the butt to get painting. Same thing with this one. That's why I'm glad I've had these Reavers sitting there forever. It's time to get them done. They're done now. I'm very happy with how they turned out. They look great. And it was fun to do, right? I felt an energy. That's what I love about painting challenges. It gives you this nice energy to get stuff done, to get stuff finished. Right? So, like it's really cool. I'm just really, I'm really impressed how well they turned out. And I think they're awesome. Again, painting challenge. Now, there is a downside. Yeah, painting challenges are great motivation. They really are. I think they're a great motivational tool. I love doing them. I like the challenge part. Now, when you get like a painting contest, I'm not such a fan of those um, because then you're painting skill against skill level. That's really hard, and that gets that I don't like painting contests because I'm not a award-winning painter at all. I am enjoying it. Thank you, my friend Mini Warm Brian. There, it's awesome. I love these painting challenges. I like how they're just sort of a friendly competition to, yeah. It's a great, not competition, but it's a great challenge to get stuff done. I've tried entering, and I've had some bad experiences with the contests. Um, because of and it was strangely enough because of Games Workshop staffers, and it was when I was at Games Workshop. It's funny. I entered a um, what's his name? An Empire character on horseback. I can't remember his name right now. I entered a Empire warrior priest character on horseback, and I took so much time getting this guy done. I did everything I could. I knew I wasn't going to win, but I thought at least I'd make it past the first round, maybe place somewhere, right? Yeah, it is fun to see what their progress is. It's great to see. I love it. It's a great community builder. It really is. I love it. Um, but I was hoping that, like, I really went all out. I went on I really went out on every detail. Even the base was well done. I had everything done, everything highlighted. I went over spots 10, 15 times fixing things. And it went to Games Day Canada. Games Day I don't think exists anymore. This was the last Games Day in Canada, and there was a lot of problems. Heads rolled due to this. But what ticked me off is when it went to, they were doing the painting contest. The people running it got their girlfriends to do it. Now, there's nothing wrong with women doing it. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just one of my coworkers went to Toronto for this, and these girlfriends were doing, again, nothing against them being women, but they were asking, like, what is all this? What is this stuff? I don't understand. And he's like, you don't know what this is? It's like, no, it's like, this is Warhammer. Like, you're judging this. And so models were winning based on whether the base had a flower or not, right? Even the coworker that won a golden demon, or I think it was a bronze demon or something. And he won it, and he was told that they just liked the base because it had a big flower on it. So all the painting he did into his model meant nothing. It was because it had a flower on the base. He's like, really? So even he came back discouraged. So that was like, man, like, you put your heart and soul into a model, and then you go and it doesn't get picked because it doesn't have a flower on the base. Like, And we had another one, and this was a big discouragement. We decided to do as a staff, and this was something that it was organized. I'm not sure how far it went. I think it was definitely most of the staff, most of the stores in Canada. We decided that we're going to do like a staff competition. And you had to build 1,000-point army or something like that. It was something, maybe about 1,000-point army. You had like 2 months to do it. You had to record your progress. So, so it was one of those things, right? And this is when I decided to do my Black Templar. So I had a bunch of cool old metal models and new stuff. I had the metal chaplain. I built my own Emperor's Champion. I had 2 squads of Terminators, Assault Terminators, and 2 Vindicators. And, I chose Black Templars because it was my first major competition, right? With staff. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to be able to do this. It takes me a long time to paint Ultramarines because I really put a lot of detail back in the day. Because I had the time. I was working in the store. I could paint kind of whenever I wanted, very much. So, it was like, okay, week 1, I built my models. Here they are. Week 2, okay, I've decided to do this steps with the black. It wasn't just like primer and then dry and then highlight. It primed it. Then I painted it black. Then I did a bunch of dry brushing. Then it was a black wash. At that point, it was an ink. So then it was that. Then some more dry brushing, a little bit. And that was just basically the black. And then I did all the silver, and then all the red and black and gold, and also a red and white and gold. And white was like 3 steps, and the red was 3 steps. And we all took the time, even getting the tanks done. And we were recording it. And at the end of the first week, we had one of our staffers somewhere going, "Done, Tyranid Army, done. Oh, in the bag." And we're like, "How did you get a Tyranid Army done in a week?" And I mean, it's doable. It absolutely is doable. This guy proved it was doable. But we were taking like a lot of effort. We want our models to look good. We're staffers. You literally, in one of the things that you had to do when you worked at Games Workshop is you had to keep your painting to a certain standard, because your models were on display, and we wanted people to see, hey, look, these are our models. Don't they look cool? And people are like, yeah, I got compliments on our army. We all got compliments on our armies because we took the time. We had a standard. Now, there wasn't like you have to paint this well or you're fired. It was, you work here, you'd better be able to at least paint to a standard that people go, oh, that's cool, right? Like, not everybody had a golden demon armies, right? Some people did. But this guy did a whole Tyranid army in a week. And it made the rest of the competition really hard, because we lost all our motivation to do it at that point. We kind of struggled. We got it done. Everybody's like, no, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna follow a set of standard, but the bar was set so low. And it was a Tyranid army, and there were some basics. It had to be based. It had to have 3 colors. That's sort of been the standard for Games Workshop. Some people brought in armies that had to be based, and you go to tournament, it needs to be based at least 3 colors, or at least it was. I'm not sure anymore, but it was white and 2 different pinks, 3 colors. All the carapace on every Tyranid was white. Everything else was a different shade of pink, and the base looked like he'd taken PVA glue and white paint, mixed it together, and then just painted on it. It was supposed to be a snow base, but it looked like just a blob of like wet PVA glue on every base. We're like, man, like, and he didn't do any follow-ups. He didn't do anything before. It was literally, it started and he was done. So not a big fan of competitions. Painting challenges, yes, because like I said, it motivates you. It gets you energized. It's great to see what other people are doing, to see what they decide to go with, what their thought process is on it, why they picked a model, right? Like, I like the look of the Reavers. I think it's crazy cool that we've got these Marines with basically power armor running on stealth, right? It's power armor. It's still just as protective as the other stuff, but it's designed to be silent running. And they're terror troops. They come out of nowhere. And that was an 8-foot tall, and I'm not talking even before you throw into like the super skills of the Raven Guard, where guys in like bulky Gravis armor can be silent. But these guys are 8-foot tall, killing machines in huge armor that can be super silent, just drop into nowhere, kill everything, and disappear, and just spread terror amongst the enemy ranks. I love it. But I got a question. Can you paint over was already painted, so you can color your models differently? Well, again, it depends. Helps outside. Normally I strip them before repainting. You do that. There's a bunch of different mediums out there that allow you to strip the paint off the model, depending if it's metal or it's plastic. Use different ones. Depending on who painted it, like if you're buying an eBay rescue, sometimes you just gotta. For my Ultramarines, I've repainted a number of times. I literally just went over the old paint, because I always thin my paints. I always did. It was something I've done since forever ago, since the 90s. So I am able to paint over things pretty well. So when I've repainted my Ultramarines a number of times to update colors, it's really not that bad. But yeah, I mean, you can paint them whatever you want, right? You can paint over. Yeah, you can paint them any color you want. You can, if you get models that have already been painted, you can strip them down. I've done that before. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I've done it before, where you just strip it down, take all the old paint off, and let it dry, and then go back in and repaint it as your color scheme. Right? Off for ice cream. Am I not more important than ice cream? What type of ice cream, though? I mean, depending on the type of ice cream. likely smashed. Well, you have fun. Thank you, Mini Warmutt, for dropping by. Much appreciated, my friend. Now, the other thing I want to mention, talked about 2024 going to DQ. Okay, well, again, what type of ice cream? What type? Are you getting a Blizzard? Blizzard's okay. I will let you go for a Blizzard. Right? If you just get one of those like chocolate covered cones, I'm gonna be slightly hurt. I may cry a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay. All right, you're allowed to go. You may leave. Butterfinger. Hey, Butterfinger's good. I like a good Butterfinger. It's an old Simpsons commercial. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. By Brian. So lots to do in 2024. Salted caramel. Ooh, not okay. Can you stop now? I'm getting hungry. DQ's close here right now. I can't get any. Damn it, guys! Come on, man. But the other thing I want to mention, the rule of cool, and this is one that I've heard from Mythos a lot. We used to call it back in the day, just do whatever makes you happy, right? And the Reavers, that's one of the things. Now these Reavers, I love them. I think they're cool. I loved them ever since they came out in 8th edition. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. You have like this stealth marine, right? Like this is like wet work special ops marines. These guys are they're not no, these are like, obviously we've gotten other units that are like super scouts, right? But what I liked about these guys is these are terror troops. This is what Space Marines are supposed to be. And when Space Marines arrive, and this is one of the things that has made me a little less has not impressed me. The fluff is no one seems to be afraid of Space Marines anymore. Even the fluff. Like Space Marines arrive and everybody's like, meh, Space Marines, I've killed them before. Right? Like it's just like, oh, well, why do we have Space Marines anymore? I love Space Marines. I love reading the old fluff where it's like, 10 Space Marines show up. People go, uh-oh, and they tear off. Right? So, but I love the fact, I know in the meta, they're not very hot. They're not very cool. But I love them. And that's the rule of cool. If you think it's cool, do it. That's why I did the Reavers. That's why I'm doing that Reaver Lieutenant, because that is just an awesome. I think that model's so cool. Him, characters leaping off. He's got his special issue bolt pistol, heavy bolt pistol in hand, a big comet blade in the other, and he's just, he's about to just leap off and skewer somebody. This guy got a run, leapt off this piece of masonry, and he's about to skewer some. It's such a dynamic model. I love it. I love it. I love it. Right? So, again, the rule of cool. It's something I think we should all aspire to a bit more. I know people, there's the meta chasers. There's people like, oh, I got to have this unit because the meta says it's really cool and I want it because I want to be able to fight my battles and I want my army to work efficiently. But sometimes just going, man, that unit is cool. I love it. Just do it. It's why I built my Inquisitor. This is the, for those of you who don't know, this is Inquisitor Crastus. He is a model I made up using, actually, for the most part, Empire bits. But I don't know, I'm not a big fan of using Inquisitors in game, but fluff wise, these guys are awesome. Like I love a good Inquisitor story because they're so. I mean, there's something to be said about the nobility of Space Marines, the noble savagery of the Space Wolves, right? Right, there's just something cool about that Space Marine standing up against the horrors of the galaxy. Even like reading Guardsman stories where a guy in a flak armor with a flashlight stands against the horrors of an uncaring universe. But there's also something cool about reading inquisitorial stories where it's this shadow war in the darkness. They can't afford to be honorable or courageous. It's all decisions made that could kill billions upon billions, but they have to do it in order to ensure the survival of everybody else. There's something really cool about that. So that's why I built up Inquisitor Crassus here. He's my I had a whole backstory. This is him nearing the end of his career, right? That's what I went with. I took the legs. Yes, the legs are from an Empire militiaman. So are the arms. The torso is from an Empire, old school Empire general. The head is from one of the what were they? Zealots, the Empire flagellants, crazy people. The back, the cape is off of a Knight of the Wolf, which was a variant you could get for your knights. Instead of armed with shields and lances, you had these knights with these wolves, and they all had like two-handed hammers. It was pretty cool. And of course, the only other 40k bits are the pistol on the side here, and he's got a little pouch. I know it's hard to see here. That I took off a Chaos Space Marine. And so he became Inquisitor Crassus. And I used him as sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? A rebel. I kind of drew inspiration from the Eisenhorn stories where he was from. He's a very strict Puritan heretic, but as time goes on, he slowly veers off that path and becomes a radical. He's the type of guy realizing the only way to survive the horrors of the galaxy is to start working with and using the resources, talents, bodies of Xenos to blunt attacks or help fight off incursions and stuff like that. So it's very, very cool stuff. But yeah, so he's a bit. This is where I also envisioned him being chased by other members. So he's been savaged by time. His beard and hair unkempt. He's not a happy man. But yeah, again, rule of cool. It's always fun to just do something because it's the thing to do. If it's why I ran Tyrannic War Veterans for so long. When they popped up in 4th, I ran them in every game, whether I was fighting Tyranids or not, just because it was cool to have this unit that was specifically, uniquely Ultramarines. And back in the day, they had preferred enemy. They got bonuses, rerolls against Tyranids, but they're still pretty cool. They were still Space Marines. They still had both guns. They still had some cool. But it was cool to have them there, right? And even later on at 5th, when they became that unit disappeared and they just became veterans, I still ran them as veteran Space Marines again because they looked cool. So there's always something to be said about the rule of cool. It's always fun. Just do something because it makes you happy. Do that, especially nowadays. It is a bit. I don't want to say disheartening, because it's cool to see people having fun with the game. It really is. And whatever way you decide to enjoy the hobby, I'm always down for. But it is a little frustrating to see the meta being in so much control of the hobby, where people will only play specific armies because that's the army that's going to win. I think, to me, that it stunts creativity a bit because everybody's playing the exact same armies. Boom, boom, I need this unit, boom, 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 boom. Now, some people can be creative and still be very effective in the battles. I've seen lots of people do it, but a lot of the armies are starting, and this happens, honestly, this happens every time. I remember happening back in the early 2000s and 2010s before Games Workshop really got out like it has now. But you had like things like Death Star lists, where you had just a one kick-ass unit that could wipe everything. And everybody started playing that. And then it was leaf blower lists. A Death Star list was basically a list where you had one really super powerful unit that could take out everything. There was no answer for it. And it happened a lot back in the day. There were leaf blower lists, just a list that could literally blow your opponent off the table in just a couple turns, just literally wipe your unit out, blow the leaves right off the table. You know what I mean? So, and again, these became, it was the online list, right? So someone go, oh man, this is a list that won. This was a leaf blower list for guard. And then everybody turned up with that guard list. So, and then eventually people figure a way to counter it and it disappears. But then something else comes up. It still kind of happens now. Obviously, it's been big surprises. Certain armies work. You definitely want, which is good. And if that's going to play, by all means, play that way. That's the cool part of it. But that's why I love the rule of cool, right? Reavers, not the coolest unit in Space Marine Codex. A lot left to be desired in terms of damage, and the abilities are okay. You can cause battle shock tests, which can be cool, and because just get to them here. I want to make sure I say this right because I don't want to mislead anybody on this. But if I go to data sheets, Reavers. Yeah, so Reaver Squad's basically pretty standard unit, but abilities you have Scout 6 inches is good. We have Fearsome Assault. At the start of the fight phase, each enemy within engagement range, one or more units with this ability must take a battle shock test, which is pretty cool, right? Battle shock doesn't really do that much. The big thing is you go down to 0 OC that unit does, which is great. If you have a big unit sitting on objective, you can throw these guys in, and perchance they'll get a battle shock test. And if it's a big unit and you have a small unit, these guys are OC1, so there'll be 5 OC from these guys. That's it. But if there's a big unit, see orcs, I could slam into them. I can make them battle shock. There's 0. The other cool thing is they have Terror Troops Aura. So whilst an enemy unit within 6 inches of this unit, each time that unit takes battle shock test or leadership test, subtract 1 from that test. So that's pretty cool. So again, that's one of their abilities, right? They do have precision in all their weapons. The way I have them armed, I've got the combat blade. Good Lord, I can't even think right now. I've got the special issue bolt pistol, which is 12 inches pistol precision. It's one shot, strength 4, AP -1, 1 damage weapon. And I got the combat knife, which 4 attacks and it's precision on it. So again, the other cool thing you can use these guys for, here I wax tactically now, is you can use these guys to take out back units, right? Maybe a small unit of heavy weapons is sitting an objective in the enemy's back line. You got Imperial, you get your Astra Militarum, you're going to get some guard, right? And you've got, say, I don't know, you've got a Acadian command squad. You could do some damage there. There's got 4 attacks each. That's 20 attacks for 5 guys. You can do some damage with that. You got let's see here. You got an infantry squad. You'd be able to put some hurt on them, right? What else is there? Where did it go? Your heavy support units, things like that. You could put a hurt on them. I'm just trying to find it. They change the name and everything all the time. Yeah, your field ordnance batteries. It's got lots of wounds, but your melee weapons are battery close combat weapons. It's 3 attacks, right? And it'd be good, take out the big gun with these guys, and precision. You can take things out. You hit a command squad with a platoon commander, Acadian. You can focus all your attacks on him and maybe take him out. You can't issue orders. Maybe battle shock it. Again, not the best, just the best units, but again, rule of cool, I think they're awesome. And I suggested everybody else have some fun with the rule of cool too. If you can, that way you can get you never know, you might get another unit that just you never thought of playing before, but you always liked, but it never really sat right with you. Like, oh, it's a good unit, but it's not going to win me. I look at all the meta. It doesn't get its points back. It doesn't, not super competitive, but it's something really, really cool you want to do it. Go for it. Go for it. Yeah, so, and it's something we've said to people beforehand. It's, and I say it now because I continually need to be reminded myself, because I see stuff and I go, oh man, that's super cool, but it doesn't really fight that well, or the rules just aren't, so maybe I shouldn't get it. But no, if it's cool to you, go out there. And there's gonna be people that go, why'd you get that unit? It's a horrible unit. Maybe, but I think it's cool, right? And that's I remember back in the day when I worked at GW, it was like I remember we had these 10 commandments, right, of things that we had to do in order to do our job. Well, one of them was tell them what they need, sell them what they want. And so that was the thing you do. And we really went for that sell them what they want aspect of it. You could sit there and someone would come in and go, hey man, I just got myself the Assault and Black Reach set, and I love the Space Marines. There's a captain there, a tactical squad, Terminator squad, a dreadnought. It was so cool. I got them all painted up and ready to play already. Where do I go next? Well, you're going to need another troop choice. Let's get you another either scout squad or tactical squad. That was the way it was back then. Right, but like, and you say, oh, that's what you definitely need. They go, okay, cool. But then you go, but like, what caught your eye, Lex? Oh man, I like their dreadnought. I love their dreadnought. Get the dreadnought. Dreadnought's cool to you. Get the dreadnought. Oh, but I need a tactical squad. Yeah, I need troop choices to play a full-on game. Okay, well, and you're like, what do you want? Do you want a tactical squad or a scout squad? Which one looks cool to you? You already got a tactical squad. Maybe you should get this scout squad. And get the sniper rifle one, right? Some long range firepower, right? Long distance. You get the cool cloaks. What do you want? And we kind of tell them what they need next, but you let them choose it. And we always try to make sure that they chose something that really caught their attention. So, real cool. That's something I really enjoyed. And again, these Reavers, super cool. And thank you again to Mini Warmut for putting these amazing challenges out there, because it is super motivational, and I'm very happy with all this stuff. That's the other thing, real cool. It's the benefits of having a deep bit box, an extensive bit box, and this may be a bit more difficult at first because, especially now with a lot of monopost stuff, but it's still very, very possible to build something. And again, this is a 40K Inquisitor I built up. That's made out of like 95% Warhammer Fantasy bits. It works. I built a Imperial Guard character. I should probably get him done. Maybe I'll add him to the challenge. I don't know, but he was. I built him out of, I think, a ton of fantasy bits. Again, I should find him. I don't know where I put him. He's in my bits box somewhere. But the part of the story was this Inquisitor got a ton of blue-blooded Imperial Guardsmen killed. So blue-blooded Imperial Guards are those really rich regiments. It's not like Cadia or Katakan or any of those big ones, but it's one of those ones that comes from a very rich, well-to-do planet. They have the best training. They have the best gear. It does lead to severe amount of arrogance, and they end up going up, rubbing other regiments the wrong way when they have to work with them. They're all noble-blooded, and they've been featured in a bunch. There's a ton of different ones. Just look them up. But I decided, like, this guy was pissed off because part of his regiment had been killed due to Inquisitor Crassus's machinations, right? He had done something, and so I built him up, and I believe, I think, if I'm trying to figure out here, I believe his legs were just standard Cadian soldier legs, right, from the old box, not the new one. The torso was again an Empire Knight torso. The head was from an Empire Knight. Both arms were from Empire Knights. No, one arm is from the Empire Militia. It's got a big metal greave here and just fabric. The other one was a knightly arm with the arm gun, like he's challenging him. The legs are in a running pose, and like I said, the head was a knight, and he has a cape as well. I'm pretty sure was from I think elves or something like that. It's just a shorter cape flowing off the back. But he was designed to be sort of this blue-blooded officer who's had it. He's gone. He's kind of decided that Crassus has to die. He was maybe attached. I can't remember the full story. I'd have to bring it up again and try and remember. But he was attached. His regiment was attached to Inquisitor Crassus at Inquisitor Crassus's command, and it was sort of the Inquisitor Crassus got all his friends, his brothers, his noble elite warriors killed, and now he's out for revenge. It's always good revenge. It's always good to have a nice little revenge story in 40K. But yeah, so we have Crassus here. I have to find that. I should paint him up soon and add him to my list of things I've gotten done. But yeah, I love that. I always liked, there's a number of them in the Gaunt's Ghost books, these blue-blooded warriors that were, that thought they were better. They thought they were beyond standard guardsmen, and even if they weren't, right? Even if they were just you go up against things like the you have elite armies like the Cadians that each and every single warrior, every person that was living in Acadia could field strip their las guns like that by the age of like 5, because they were, so it's a very war torn and war weary world, but amazing warriors. And these blue bloods think, oh, I'm better than them. I'm noble bearing, right? Very, very Napoleonic aristocracy to them. I'm noble born, therefore I'm better than everybody else automatically. Right? If you've ever seen Sharp, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, watch Sharp; it's great. But yeah, hello. But yeah, so rule of cool, very important. I think it's great because it allows you to kind of do what you want to do. Opens up your creativity amazingly, right? Because then you get to paint and build something you normally wouldn't. It opens up ideas. 2024, a year that I'm going to try and get all my models done. And I don't think I'm going to be getting any more models till those models are done. I got what's left of the Leviathan box set to do. I've got Hellblasters to do, the Reaver Lieutenant, Guilliman I've got to do, Ventress I got to do. So there's lots of stuff to do. I definitely want to get them done. What else? And of course, challenges. I love a good challenge. Hopefully, I'm going to do more of these. I'm loving these challenges. I'm hoping that Mini Warmat will do more as the year progresses. This one's been fantastic. I'd love to do another one. I've got lots of models to paint up for these challenges, so it'll be good. It'll be fun to get them done, get them out there, and get you motivated. Having a time limit, sometimes is not a bad idea, because you're like, oh man, I got to get this done. Hence the reader. But yeah, and 2023, I talked about this in the last one. 2023 was a pretty rough year for a lot of people. And it's looking like 2024 is going to be a lot of the same. I know there's a lot of people out there struggling with bills and struggling with finances and dealing with just a very stressful, borderline miserable world right now. And it makes me very thankful to have things like this community, this channel, the hobby, something I can take joy out of and do. And that's definitely another thing I want for 2024. I want to enjoy this more. I want to use it as a way to be happier in 2024 than it was in 2023. There was a lot of issues. Like I said in the last stream I did there before New Year's, 2023 I almost shut down the whole channel. And I don't. Looking back on it, I was pretty low, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to shut the channel down. But I was like, man, I am not happy. I wasn't painting anything. I haven't played a game in years. That still bothers me. But I said, you know what? I gotta do better. That reminds me, the other thing to do. I want to do some a bunch more collaborations this year. I want to connect with other creators in this community. I want to spread the hobby love. I want people to have fun. It's something that I think I lost a little bit in 2023. I wasn't having fun with it. I realized that one of the things I loved both times, when I worked in Games Workshop, was getting people excited, having fun. And I want to do that again. I want you guys to have fun. Now, normally I don't end it this early, but you know what? I'm going to end it now. I think I'm going to end it now. I kind of said what I need to say. And that was one of the other things that like I said, I want to make myself happy too. And I'm happy with the way this chat has gone tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys have had a lot of fun. To Des, I hope we answered a number of your questions. You had a bunch of great ones. Sorry if I missed any. Do battalion camouflage painting. You can do that too. Camouflage painting is pretty fun. But as always, guys, thank you very much. I hope 2024 is a much better year for everybody. I hope you get everything you're hoping for. I hope all your hard work pays off. I hope you find a ton of enjoyment. I just hope it's a better year for everybody. I really do. I hope it's a year where we can all be a bit happier, and a bit more caring, loving. Just a better year for everybody. But as always, guys, keep rolling those dice, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.